Bafana Bafana's squad for the FIFA 2010 World Cup was announced today. The 23 players that will represent South Africa on the 11th of June when they take on Mexico were unveiled by Carlos Alberto Pereira. Joining us on the line to discuss that squad is former Bafana Bafana coach Clive Barker. Clive, thank you so much for joining us. What do you think about the squad?
Very nicely done. A lot of thought went into the selection. Difficult on the 5 or 6 players that were left out, if you include Jali, through injury. I like what I see at the back. Outside of Nassif Morris, it would have been my own personal choice. He's got his centre-backs nicely covered. The left full-back picks himself. The right full-back, there may have been a toss-up between him and Bryce Moon, which would have been pretty close. But I just think the midfield is going to cause him his biggest problem of how to play two defensive midfield players to accommodate the likes of Medisa, Shabalala, and Pienaar. Up front, of course, he's got Mapela into Parker. So I think I like what I see up front. I always thought that they would be 2 of the 3 players that were fighted out with Benny McCarthy. So everybody can differ in a selection. Everybody does. But I think he's got a very nicely balanced team and one that's going to do South African proud.
The exclusion of Benny McCarthy, an extremely controversial figure. What were your thoughts on his exclusion?
Well, I had him when he first started. He was very precocious, and he had, of course, an agent that was very, very precocious also. But I just think, just generally, Benny McCarthy's been the top-class player. I mean, you don't win the quality of leagues, championships that he has done and discard him easily. I think they must have gone into a lot of thought. I'm not quite sure about his injury because I haven't got the inside running rail on that. But I just think generally that it must have been a hell of a decision to leave a player of the value of Benny McCarthy out.
In your opinion, do you think Bafana Bafana are ready for the World Cup now?
I really do. Like I've done at all the talks throughout South Africa over the last 2 months, I'm going to be still very patriotic and hope very sensible that of the 2 African countries, the Ivory Coast and South Africa stand out. Of the 2 Americas, Argentina and Brazil stand out. And of the 2 European countries, I would think that Germany and Spain stand out. And I think if you've got those 6, those are the 6 teams to back in the World Cup.
And last but not least, could we get a prediction out of you? I mean, if you're forced to spell out Bafana's chances, where do you think that they'll go? They'll go into the next round?
I think they'll get to the final, and if they've got that far, they could win the final. I think that he's done a wonderful job building the confidence in the players. I just think that generally he's given South Africa an opportunity to win the World Cup, and that's all you could have asked of him to do.